My names are Purity. I'm Leset Lakara. I'm a Urgululi Community Wildlife Ranger, Team Lioness. My work is to protect wildlife, to make sure that they are safe, and also to protect their habitats. What we usually do is that we do patrol. We patrol on areas. We collect the data for animal sightings, and also in those areas we do searching. We search for anything suspicious like snares, poaching, and charcoal burning. If there is any of those, we attend the specific areas, then we do the necessary. So, and also we visit the community, we collect data from the community. They direct us if there is anything that is going on in the community. Maybe animals like lion and elephants are disturbing them. Usually we wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. Then we go for morning run, that is body fitness exercise, to prepare our body for work, to make sure that we are ready for the day work. After the morning run, we came back, we take bath, we dress on, and then we go for tea. Then after tea, we were called outside, we line up. We were given instructions on which area we are going to visit on that day, what we are going to search. Maybe we had collected information from the community. For example, if there is a lion around, which area. So we were directed by our sergeant that we are going to visit this specific area. We are going to do this and this today. Before the evening, we have to cover this area. We must have this kind of information. So after that small parade, then we proceed to our normal patrol. We went to the bushes, searching for the areas, collecting data of animal sightings, monitoring all the areas, and searching for snares under the trees, and searching whether there is charcoal burning, searching for anything that is not commentable to be in this area that we are protecting. Then after that normal patrol, we don't forget to take the GPS coordinates so that we can forward it to the office. Then after there, we go back to the camp, we take our lunch. After lunch, we rest a bit. I'm a Maasai girl. I come from Maasai community. That's where I grew up, in the Maasai land. I grew up together with wild animals. We used to mingle together because we share some natural resources like water, grazing land, habitats. It's like we live together. The time I was growing up with animals, even now we still live together with wild animals. So while I was young, I had a vision that when I grew up, I would become and be. At first, I was like I will be a teacher. Then we live near to the Amboseli National Park, whereby we usually see the Kenya Wildlife Service rangers patrolling. So I admired that. So I was like, I like wildlife. I will become a ranger one day so that I can also be driven on a car. I grew up on the bushes patrolling, protecting wild animals, preserving them. And because I like wild animals, I was like to protect them, to increase in number so that the upcoming generation will meet the wild animals in a large number, that they will not miss the wild animals. So I was blessed. We were called for an interview whereby this job was announced that 8 ladies were needed to work as rangers at Olgulului Group Ranch. So that chance was announced because in our group ranch we had 8 clans. So they needed 8 girls from each clan. So from my clan, I was chosen. I was given an interview, and by good luck I pursued the interview well, and I was employed. I was very lucky. That was the very happiest day in my life. When I came for an interview, my mother, my father, and my sisters, they are telling me, Purity, will you make it? This job is only meant for men. If you go there out, there is harsh and aggressive animals like buffalo, lion, and elephant, will we make it to escape from them? Will we make it run fast? And I was like, yes, I will make it, because I had this vision of protecting wildlife. So even if I will not make it, but I will try to make it. We Team Lioness, female rangers, we are very much better than male rangers, simply because the kind of information that we are providing to this job is different than the kind of the information that they are getting there before ladies were employed. We are young ladies from the Maasai community. There is young girls there back in the homes that we came from. There is young Morans that we used to play together, we interact together. So when we go back home, maybe for our off week, we interact together. They give us information, especially the women. They provide us many information about bushmeat hunting, that maybe their husband, their brothers are doing it. They can easily share those information with us compared to men. What I love most is to protect this wildlife together with the community, to make sure that I create a conducive environment between the both. I like to advise my fellow young women back at home, back at the villages. I would like to advise them that we as women, we can also do it. And it doesn't matter what kind or which kind of a job, no, but we must hustle in all ways so that we can change our family, we can change our nations too.
Hey, turn your right and salute. Go left.
I'm Sharon Angin. I'm a Maasai lady. I'm doing as taking care of wildlife security and taking care of environment and their habitats.
12 giraffes, 3 young, over.
Unfortunately, when I grew up, I didn't meet any rhino. It was very painful because, by seeing all kinds of animals, of wildlife animals, for example, elephant, lioness, buffaloes, it was very, very painful for me not to see a rhino. Whereby now, when I need to see, I will pay for the tour up to Nairobi, Uhuru Park. I will see the rhinos. But for now, I'm taking care of this wildlife that I met, like for example, elephants, for my future generation, for my grandchildren and my children, for a future they can see. When I became a ranger, my community now they are respecting me, because there before women were not respected. They were taken like giving birth, fetching water, fetching firewood. But for now, guys are seeing, and my community now are proud of me because I did my best, and now they are seeing us like we did the job that they are not being able to, like they are not, a few years ago they were not seeing that as women we can do this job. The other thing I benefited from being a ranger, when I get the salary, I raise my standard of the background, whereby my parents, they get food. Now I can educate my younger brothers with the salary that I get. The salary that I get, I will buy goats for them. They will use them, they milk them, they get meat, they get milk for making their tea.
Turn your right and salute. All out.
Okay, for what I will urge and tell the people who are seeing, the women or the guys who are seeing that we are not doing the jobs that guys they can do. This is a world of competition, whereby all of us compete, because in our classes, if a man can be number one, the woman can be number two. If a woman can be number one, a man can be number two. Why in classes we compete?
My name is Patrick Papatiti. I work with Olgudului Community Wildlife Rangers in Amboseli, a program that is funded by IFO, International Fund for Animal Welfare. What we do is anti-poaching. We conserve wildlife. We as well conserve the habitat that those wildlife live in. We work mostly with the community to take care of wildlife around Amboseli National Park, I would say. We cover close to 95% around Amboseli National Park, and so every animal that is outside the park is under our care. Come from a patriarchal society that are mostly men-dominated, and everything is believed to be men are able to do. IFO management sat down sometime. We shared the same idea with them. We talked about how can we then make sure that the whole community moves together. That is men and women in the community that we come from. Locally, this having Team Lioness or having girls in conservation was not a thing that everybody thought about. But IFO's management decided we can give this a shot and see how then can bringing ladies into conservation, especially not only conservation, but having them as rangers. With that perception that people think that young Maasai girls wouldn't be able to do this, should be there to get firewood from the village. I mean, for the village, fetch water for the village. I think IFO thought they can do more than that, and initially the idea came from them and flouted to us. And then we shared with the community leadership, and the community leadership said we can give it a shot. And I would say we attribute our success for the very few years that they've been with us because of their efforts. You see, these girls are from the local community around. And so back home, they've been herding. And so the terrain has never been a problem to them. Apart from being in uniform, and apart from them now being on the other side, that they're protecting wildlife, they were out there in the bush. So at least they know how to work in such an environment, or how to do things in such an environment. And so that was not part of what we thought maybe would be very difficult for them. What we thought was very difficult for them was two things. One is the mental perception from the society, the acceptance, them being in uniform and them telling men, and not only men, but young warriors, please don't kill lions, don't kill elephants, or don't attack wildlife, or don't go hunting. We have had scenarios where it is them and them by themselves trying to stop retaliations when lions attack cows. We expect, and that has been a responsibility as a ranger, for you to protect that lion and not to be killed I know it's painful from the society, painful from the community, but again, these are animals. Our cows, the wildlife, are all animals, and so a lion would imagine that is a food. That's a food for them. And so they did not intentionally come to attack a cow just because they wanted a delicious cuisine from a cow. No, it is because that is a food for them. So what we bridge, and the team Lioness has been able to do, is to stop and save that lion from being speared. How have they been able to do? It is because the community has given them an opportunity. They have earned their respect by how they've interacted with the community, how they have not only been out in the bush, but going back to the village, helping that community when need arises. Any service that has been required by the community from us, they have given it 100%. And out of that relationship that they've built, they earn that respect. And so when they go out and tell people, stop, kindly don't do it, they're listened to. Again, Team Lioness has been an asset when we collect intel. You see, back at the village, there is that environment where ladies sit down and chat and talk and stuff like that. They have had that opportunity to go out and interact with the women in the villages, and they have been an asset for us. Unconsciously, men back in the village sit down and talk. And that unconscious mind that doesn't think that somebody sitting around will be listening. And that happens to be a lady back in the village. They'll be sitting down and listening. And that information they collect, and that information that people give without them being cautious, without them, at that state when you don't think that this person will get this information to someone else. A lot will be discussed. And they filter. When they listen and get from them, they filter. This is useful for us. This is not useful for us. And then relay back to the office. And then from that, we will have tips to follow through. I remember one scenario when one morning, one mother shared with one of the girls that they woke up very early in the morning, and until 8 in the morning, they haven't seen any warrior around. Just that was enough for us to know that there is a team of warriors that has left the village to go hunt. And so we had to swing into action, and that's it. That's it. The impact has been, you look at the girls, young girls in the village, they look up to them. They have seen how they've earned respect. They've looked how, for example, I would even narrow down to the team of young men here at the base. They now respect them. At the initial stages, they never thought that they will not catch up with them. For example, like in the bush, patrolling, they have never thought that should anything happen, they won't catch a few of these girls. They can run very fast. So that mental acceptance that these are colleagues, this is a team that can do either like us or more than us, is enough impact for those young girls back in the village to see these girls as role models, for example. I have seen confidence. I have seen confidence, which was not there before. You can imagine having these girls speaking in a men's baraza. That was a bigger change. That was a bigger change. Rarely would you find that happening in the villages around. And so I would say they are coming from just being girls in the village, being rangers, earning that respect from colleagues, earning that respect from the community. And now you see them offering leadership by talking to people in barazas, by talking to men when we like converge in an area, for example, having that discussion. They take that charge of talking to people and advising people on what to do. And so yes, I would say I have seen them growing. Besides looking at how much conservation would have achieved by conserving wildlife and conserving habitat around, I am looking not only them, but I'm looking at the impact they would have for the other girls back in the village. One is I have always looking at what other opportunities do they want to achieve in life? Do they want to study as they work, for example? IFO and us will be very much into that. Should they want to, again, do more education, have more schooling? What else? Do they have little businesses that they would want to start back in the villages? Yes, I would prefer to get into that and see them not only looking at what do you get by the end of the month, but at least their mothers back in the village, their sisters back in the village, their brothers back in the village would help them run something back at home. We buy cows, for example. We rear goats, we rear sheep. Do they want to bring into that? We would be very much helpful into that. So I'm looking at an independent girl in the next 5 years, an independent Team Lioness girl, ranger, in the next 10 years, would be a respected either business lady, for example, but working with us, still doing conservation, because this is the foundation of everything. So I would say, I would want to see them, not only rangers, but mothers as well in the future. You see, we have had so far 2 of them having been married off this year. We supported the much we could to make sure at least they're not only here as rangers, but back home they are mothers, they are parents, and we support that as well. And so I would say we don't want to give them that challenge that when you take up being a ranger, then that limits what you can do back home. We will support. You've seen one of them is expecting a baby in the next 2 months. We are in support of her. She should be here working with us, having that good environment to be with us, but at least given services and duties that would help her perform before she leaves. Go back home, have the baby, take her maternity leave, and then come back with us. I am not an activist, but I've always believed in women. I believe in not leaving anyone behind.
This is our gem, simply because this is nature. There is no feeling like being out here in nature, where you're able to open your curtains in the morning and the first thing you meet is you're face to face with the elephants. It's something that is always amazes me. Everybody who comes here is always awed by the fact that you're able to just see the animals right to you. So we say the wildlife comes to you as opposed to going to look for the wildlife. It's an amazing feeling. Welcome you to Oltukai, the best spot in the world to experience Amboseli, and it's also the best spot in the world to view elephants, the African elephant.